His Arukh HaShulchan Yardeh, Siman Lamed Gimel, Sif Mem Aleph, to Siman Lamed Daled, Sif Gimel. This is Supplemental Day 184 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi series. Now, Ben Zeppel Kurban between the crop and the gizzard, there's a kind of intestine which connects them. It's a question whether its status is like that of the crop, and a hole does not forbid it. Or its status like of the gizzard, and its trafe when it has a hole. Therefore, if this intestine has a hole, have a suffix treva, it's a questionable treva. The Ramah Paskins this way. If you find a needle in this intestine, you don't see any hole in the intestine. Kosher becomes fake sveka. It's a kosher because it's fake sveka. Shem alonikev. Maybe there was no hole. It did so many kev. And if there was a hole, shem medino kazeb. Maybe it's a status like the crop. Palom it does become treif with a hole. It's a bit from the base level. We talk about yesh lachmir if the needle is lodged in, so then you should be makar. It's pretty chodesh. It should be dark because the intestine is thin. But let's go to mashnikva b'kulo. It's more likely to say that it actually created a hole. And in the bracket says Primagodim seems to have been astonished at him, but that's based on what he worked with. But Shulchan says Fimash Kusafti Osi Shapir. Based on what he says, it works out well. Vovashelim Zepek, a bird which is not a crop, Kamo Abza, like a goose, bar Abza, and some other type of goose. If you find a needle lodged into the flesh, which is next to the stomach, next to the side, towards the esophagus, it has to come out kosher. Small pimples. The prakim needs a even if when you open them up, you find in them like small worms, like as long as they haven't been holed through to the outside. It's a piece of Pesach. And he says that as the Ephraim writes in the Megimas Zvarim, which is astounding, and the main thing is like the Marie Prague, whatever that is. Lamadal, Dina Trefus Gargaris, Trefus in the windpipe, the trachea. Ava Gargaris, Lashon Agmar Kone, who chol, it's hollow, like a reed, Kone. Fu Amil it's thick on top, it's on the Fnim. It's stick on top and on the inside, and down below towards the neck. Who dak? It's thin. So I guess Amil means on the inside. It's happening towards the back of the animal, towards the front of the animal. It's thin. It makes schnipsach l'rachvo when it's cut latitudinally, widthwise. Brov chala kana in the majority of the cavity of the trachea, trefa is trefa. Dafka brov chala specifically it's the majority of the cavity. A brov ovia the majority of the thickness. Like brov chala without the majority of the cavity, the nation malu of cholios because it's since on the top it's thick. It's possible that be b'kola b'ovi rov. That if you look at the totality, it's a majority. V'chol rov, even though in the cavity it's not a majority, ain't a treif, but that's not a treif. Zog shim s'lemal lamata b'kidarko. Here's the way it's cut on top or below in the normal way. Finding mitzad pnim mitzad orf, from the inside towards the neck. Male the hefek and the opposite shnipsel mitzad orf mitzad pnim when it's severed from the neck side to the inside. Shreif rov challah. Shreif in the majority of its cavity. Avgav leka rov ovya, even though it isn't the majority of its thickness. Yeah, so here's actually a picture. The thickness is actually towards the front, not towards the back. Towards the bottom of the neck. See that? That's the thickness towards the bottom of the neck. And I have a picture of it on top. So you can have Rov of Yah before you get to Rov Chalolah. Now it has to be Rov Challah, which is further. Because it came from this side. Okay. This is what the Rambam writes. The trachea, the majority of the cavity is severed. In the place of super for shchita, I raise an avela, it's an avela. He says because the trachea where the majority of the cavity is severed, the shchita, place for super shchita, all the malamis are above this. I raise a surah kanashano. The malim mokum shchita, if it's below the place of shchita, then in the kivasim and mashu, then it's a whole, even a small hole, trapes it. Kamoshi's bar subsim says we should see at the end of Simon. It's 1,000 shot. For Ram Sabin Lamal, Malcolm Shchita, because of Ruba, Ram also is above the Malcolm Shchita. You need a majority in order to trafe it up. Zeshka, making a Vela. Zeshka and Malcolm Royal Shchita, that what he says in terms of Malcolm Royal Shchita, in a Vela, is in terms of a Vela. So Lamal and Malcolm Shchita have a trafe on a Vela. Okay, that's. So it was my mistake. Above the Malcolm Shchita, there's only treif and non-nevela. It's Kaz Mishnah. Achlosha Tur Kosha. But the Tur is difficult. Shekos have Gargesh a Grove Chalol and Malcolm Royal Shchita Treipa. Says the majority has been severed in a place of the cavities and severed in a place where it is Scuba Shchita Treipa. Kanashon. Kim Shu Lomas Kiras Kinavela. If it's not mentioning Avela, so he's not drawing distinctions here. Why you also mention above the Malkum Shchita? So my emphasis the emphasis primary then is to preclude below, which is not a Malkum Shchita. But above the Malkum Shchita, Allah is like the Malkum Shchita. Nevertheless, it's difficult. How the Rambam Torah measures Travis anywhere. But you can't say it doesn't seem to be the right to say. Since we hold the Makom Shchita in the trachea is from the epiglottis, inclined epiglottis, and below. That above this is only just like flesh, not like the trachea. And that which they said that shchita above this place is nevela, it's not because the shchita is messed up, because there is no shchita. The Kol Mekiyakai Lovely Stone of Fire. I really should have said this. Sorry, it's not clear. I think we do one more. Yeah, that's where it's widthwise, horizontally. Thus, when the majority is severed. Since the neck is pulls upwards, and the organs which are connected to the trachea, they pull it downwards, and the cut will get wider, can't survive. But if the kana is split lengthwise, longitudinally, even the majority is cracked. Of the group of Yosim Ruba, and even more than a majority. If it's only a little band lift on top and below the crack, but Malcolm of the Shchita in place of soup of Shchita kosher, there's because the longer the neck extends, the more it's going to close itself shut. Came Shan Losed because only a crack. Nothing's missing. Therefore, the two sides of the crack will connect. Until it can completely hold. There's no even a mashu. No, there isn't even a mashu lamala or lamata above below. It's never going to connect. If you almost behind, the animal's going to die. Some say the mashu that the below it doesn't help. It's just a mashu left over. Rock unless it's a place for shchita. The misham from there and below doesn't have the chalei shem kone. Has a chalei shem me'ayin. It's not going to help to connect the two sides of the crack. But above, more or less sure, whatever's left over helps. I feel even it's above the epiglottis. That until there's a place of soup of shchita, even though it's on the shchita, it still has the same kana. The other is carbon will help it reconnect. So it's in the bush. I've learned around before, but for language it's clear. The gam lamala tzarich davka makom shchita. Now you have to have mashu left in a makom shchita. That's by melacha. Bach neshach. Yesh machshmin od if you machmir further to lamala mitabas l'gdela lo manashir. It's above the main ring in the neck because it's in rings. The corner. So then lo manashir it's not considered to be sufficient to remain. Then hikasanchu the makam shchita b'chol makam was chav state so tzedek. If it's a makom in the makam shchita, even tabas l'gdela, no matter where it is, it helps to effectuate a combining again of the two sides of the crack. And that's it for today.